Welcome to TSR 5 in 5. For those of you unaware, TSR turned 5 years old late last year, and to celebrate, we decided to count down our top 5 aggregate albums since inception. Boys, I know it's been a pleasure for that 5 years, but we're trying to keep these podcasts kind of short and, dare I say, too sweet. So let's dive right in to number 5, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
What an album.
All right. So, fellas, to get the wheels turning, loosen up the lips a little, we're going to start each podcast here with what we're calling one burning question. For those of you out there that don't follow the numbers, Imaginal Disk is a rated 90 on Album of the Year, and Magdalena Bay have 4.3 million Spotify listeners per month. Without giving away the rest of the list, that would make them the most popular / mainstream album we have chosen. So, to get things started, boys, who wants to tell me how they find that balance of being so popular mainstream, but also really scratching the itch of people like us who are a bit of music nerds and love to dig into the critical side?
I can start there.
Okay.
Burning question. Yeah, it's I honestly think with these guys is like they cast a very wide net. You know what I mean? Like they have this, dance pop sound, which is also a concept album, which also, harkens back to like the millennial kind of retro nostalgic feel, but then also has a futuristic sound as well. So it's kind of catching the more modern sounds. I'm just, I'm not surprised that they have a great fan base, and I'm also not surprised that critically that they are doing quite well. Also, that I don't really know myself, but they have a really good social media presence from what I've been reading. So I mean, TikTok, Instagram, like they're really good with their fans and with their followers, and they're gonna have this organic growth in that way. They're also high school sweethearts that got married and started a band, so like they kind of have
Pretty cool.
Great story.
everything going for them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
Easy to root for.
100%. So yeah, it's just the organic way that they come up and all the aspects of their sound and just them as individuals. I feel like that really helps set them apart from the rest.
What about you? What do you think?
Uh, my answer is kind of baked into what you said. So I think they create easily consumable and accessible music without sacrificing their ambition. Like I think this album could easily be thrown on at a party type setting, or you could also listen on your own, marvel and dissect at all the intricacies that we know and love.
Yeah, I think also just to kind of add to what you guys are saying, and again, I don't want to give away the rest of the list, but we also tend to gravitate towards things that are like a little brash or odd just because of how much music we often listen to. So the rest probably that's bakes in why it's not as popular in mainstream. But I also just think this is just like a very well executed album musically and production wise, and also like the concept album part of it is something that critics are always going to love when it's executed right. And in this case, they just like there's no you need to go read every lyric to understand what the concept is going for here. So I think it kind of can scratch that itch. And then it's just bright, it's fun. Like you said, I think you can get just as much out of this album experience by sitting back, just enjoying the music and not even like kind of like just whimsically just going off in space and you enjoy it, or you can like sit there and hang on every word and get a ton out of it too. So it's like that's a rare middle ground to be able to find.
Definitely. And I kept having this thought where I fail to look back at an album that pulls off the concept album so well. Like it's so, and we'll touch on this later, but they nail their concept, but they keep it within a pop structure. So you could, even if you mixed up the songs, it's still like you said, it's danceable, it's catchy. Like it doesn't need to be a concept, but they really execute the concept, which I really, really, really like. And that's probably why the critics are so into it.
Yeah.
Whereas the pop and the dance, everything is why probably the commercial and the mainstream are into it, right?
It's a huge challenge, and they pulled it off. Like
It's tough. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just really fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know we love like to harp on that a little, just be like fun is not always what we want in good music, but this is like it's good music and also it's fun,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is like a bonus, like a cherry on top. I wouldn't structure an album personally as like a high score just because it's fun, but when it's fun and also meets all the boxes that I look for,
Yeah.
it's the reason for me. It's a fifth album in 5 years.
Oh, definitely. It's yeah, like you said, it's almost like I'm not saying it's cheating, but it's when you write a really sad album, you go to a dark place.
Yeah.
You can really get this raw sound that people will resonate with. But to pull off a solid album, but also be fun, to keep someone's attention for almost an hour having fun is it's like near impossible.
What's the runtime? How many minutes?
56,
56,
54,
Yeah,
54.
Or yeah,
really
it's a
impressive.
long album, and the TSR curse. We usually don't like
Yeah, they
long albums,
came right around.
so
Yeah.
for a long album to do so well, yeah, it's a testament to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the curses like over an hour. Like we criticize some like
Yeah.
49-minute albums that are like, you should have fucking chopped that song.
Meanwhile, in like the '90s and like back in the day, it's like, yeah, it's always
Double album. And it's like, I want more. Give me more. All right. We got some topics to dive into. First, we're gonna dive into the lyricism on Imaginal Disk. Anyone want to take the lead?
I believe I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I will.
All right.
This is just right for where we came from lyrically. I mean, when it comes to a concept album, are you telling a story and are you telling it well? And if you follow the lyricism that is, beautifully written by is it Micah or Mika? I
I
always
think it's Mika, but I don't know.
beautifully written by
Yeah.
Mika. You're really put on this like retro future like it's almost alien like story. It's basically a science fiction. It's like a sci-fi story. It's like
Exactly,
It's like
yeah.
Blade Runner. You're putting a CD in your head to download and become this perfect person, only to realize that life is not about being perfect and no one's perfect, and then finding yourself and then going back to your own self. So it's really a very deep, you know, story if you think about it. Oh, that's kind of shrouded by this kind of sci-fi sensibility that it has going
Yeah,
on,
I
right?
think everyone can relate to that too. Like no
Mhm.
matter how long a period or how introspective it is, everyone does some self-realization and becomes a new person and all this kind of stuff. And we all, there's jealousy and there's, that sort of thing that everyone goes through regardless of how strong of a mental human you are. That's just natural. And that's why you can so easily relate to this. And like you said, they just pull it off so this like fantastical sci-fi universe, but it's so straightforward. Like there's never like you listen to this once and like what the story is, and we've seen hundreds of times, maybe not hundreds, but like lots of times concept albums just they're a slog to fully understand. It takes lots of listens and they end up being rewarding. But this one's like it nails it and it's very clear, which is great writing, which is what all these.
Yeah, and there's lots of super insightful moments throughout, like watching too much TV and what it does to your life, and you know what I mean, just making the most out of your life. And I mean, if you listen to where we started this conversation and where we are now, just how incredible the music is, going along with this amazing story about growth, like it's tying a bow on the present. You know what I mean? Like it's just another check in the box for this album. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and also to add, like they wrote it all themselves, which is also a really cool thing.
Always like a it's
We-
always a plus, like
especially in the pop
check.
sphere, like where
Yeah.
you get like these bands that are trying to make they are trying to be mainstream hits. Like they want to be in popularity, and that often relates to having people write your songs and stuff. So, that's a big plus here too that they wrote everything, and it's just a really well written record.
Oh, it's a masterclass to get your ideas across and also keep it in the pop sphere is, not many can do it, right? So
All right, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but let's dive a little bit deeper into the musicianship on this album. Who wants to take this one?
Well, let's just say I think the synths are the absolute masterclass story on this. It's the driving force that, stands out to me a lot. And we'll also say, like, I think we're gonna talk about production, and I think when you talk musicianship in like hip hop or this kind of pop sphere, this synth, they can kind of the blurred lines a little bit. It's like what's an instrument and what's actually behind just the controls of making this album. But the synths are wicked. And then on top of that, I don't remember if I looked at this when we reviewed it, but the full orchestra, just having that in there, like I think it's like 23 different full and all the arrangements done by Matthew Lewin, I think his name is.
I'll touch on when I get here, but no, it was Eric Arvinder was like the what's the
No,
word?
that's the conductor. I'm talking about.
Conductor. Okay.
He doesn't. No, the arrangements were done by the guy in the
Oh,
mix.
by the guy himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt Lewin.
Yeah, Matt Lewin. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so with all the arrangements done by Matt Lewin, just exceptional work, right? And it's a great example of again why something like this can make our top five because he's using every single tool at his disposal, but he's keeping it all in house, executing just like a flawless artistic vision. And great drums, great synths, just really nailed it. I think it's an excellent work. And then on top of that, maybe just like the vocal is solid. That would be like if I was nitpicking something, that would be the only thing here. Like, and that's like a very minor nitpick. It was a bigger deal to me during the
That
review.
was like the more like when she used the more like infantile.
Yeah, like kind of just some not great pitch correction, like auto-tune vocals. And I think that's a case of maybe listening to it like 10 different times in a week.
Yeah.
The process that we do is not helping us whatsoever for
No, so I
national
mean,
experience.
and sometimes things get on your nerves that probably shouldn't. And in this case, it's one. And revisiting this for this process was made me really realize that this is a better album than I gave it kudos for at the time. All right. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, so you touched on a lot of it. Obviously, like the synth work is incredible. When you're doing a sci-fi concept, the synths have to be on point. Like if the synths weren't there, or if the digital elements weren't there, then it would just completely go flat, with the story they're trying to tell. You touched on it, but I gotta say it again. Being co-producers and co-writers, this couple, and all of the control they have over the final product is amazing. I mean, like I touched on it then. They had an actual conductor, Eric Arvinder, nailed it, and it was a 25-piece ensemble.
25, yeah.
So yeah, violin, cello, double bass, French horn, trumpet, trombone. So you got a guy, and they're in their early 30s, sitting down and taking this entire thing into what you said, arranging it so perfectly, having that to his disposal. It's incredible.
It
honestly.
really does elevate the experience too.
Definitely.
Like when those moments hit in those songs, like it is fantastic.
Yeah.
But isn't it so cool? Like it's not in your face either, right?
Oh,
like it
it's
takes
not at all.
Tastefully done.
It takes some time
Yeah.
to really realize that's a friggin' full orchestra.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is really cool because you see when people use it, they just completely break down the rest of their song and just go full orchestra and it's in your face. Whereas here it's just like kind of layered and intertwined in, and it's like, someone said tastefully. It's great word.
I'd love to see like a behind in the studio kind of thing because like it's just you picture these two people that are producing on their laptop and then you have this whole orchestra. Like I don't know if they're getting it sent in and then they're cutting it and then arranging it after the fact. I'd love to. I'm gonna dig into it more. But like yeah, it's not overbearing. It's telling the story. It's layered on top of what they're doing, perfectly mixed with the synths and things like that. It's great. And shout out to their drummer too. So they have their original drummer, Nick Villa. So
let me see here. Have you heard?
Shout out to Nick Villa. So they have their original drummer from when they first started, and then they had this full orchestra, and even the percussion is great. I mean, he is also put into the mix very well. I mean, they just the balancing of elements is just.
So he's not considered a band member though.
He's
a touring.
I don't think so. Yeah, definitely. But he's on the record, and it's just like for them to take all these elements and it really they could have been like a DJ duo, and it could have been fully electronic, but it's so organic in that way, right?
Yeah.
It's really good.
We're kind of bleeding into it anyway, guys. So let's go to the next topic, production. And one note I have on this is something that's been consistent in my reviews, my written reviews, is I like to pick out elements and parts of songs that I really enjoy. It's just something that I've done since the beginning. You guys do it as well. if I did it with this album, it would be something from every single song, and
Definitely.
in some cases, multiple times. Like there's just so much going on at all times, and just a joy to listen to. It really is phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, I kudos to that, and I 100% agree. But like, what I love about it is whether you consider it in the previous section or this one, but it's like they're never content with what they started a song out with. So you get this
Yep.
like bass beat, which a lot of pop music would just stick with through everything. But man, they just either layer it, completely 180 it, and it goes along with the story too. To go back to the lyrics, like it's like building up these certain different sections and certain different parts of the concepts and using the music along with that to, you know, nail home the gravity of these situations. It's just really well done. And, you know, that all comes down to the mixing and mastering and just being behind that. And when you're really nailing things in, be like, I just really want this to happen and this to happen. And it's kind of flawless in that way. Like, I don't think I would change
Yeah.
a thing about this
No,
album.
definitely not. It's like we'll just say it a million times. The way that it's arranged and the way that he gives everything, or they, or I'm not sure the actual weight of who does what
Yeah.
in the studio, but just the way that they take out elements and put in elements and everything has a space. There's a part in Vampire in the Corner where I think it's in the middle where the synth just hits,
Yes,
and it's
man.
just like they
Yeah.
waited all that time and
Yeah.
they just introduce this new element and these little things. They're not reinventing the wheel, but the way that they're just introducing elements and then taking them back out, it's perfectly balanced.
It's like sometimes you listen to albums and they're perfectly good, but there's nothing really overly memorable about them. It's like I would listen to that, but it's not, it didn't do anything crazy for me. And like you said, they're not doing anything crazy in theory, but when they put it all together, they're like just picking at your brain, being like, come back and listen to this song. Listen to that 30 seconds and just like
Yeah.
think about that synth and think about the lyrics that are going along with that. And then, hey, here's an orchestra. And, it's just
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it,
We haven't really touched on like composition too. Like the
Yeah.
54 minutes, like the pacing feels perfect.
It's
Like
breakneck, and it's like, and like with even like the interludes are used perfectly to just
yeah.
tell the
yeah, they
to,
fade in and fade out some songs.
and every song is, and I didn't touch on this when we were talking about the writing. It's like every song is like a new stage of her reinventing herself, this character from getting torn down to built back up, and all the emotions involved with that. And the songs kind of track that as well. So it's just like, no, it's executed perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the three big topics. We hit on them well, but like lyricism, the musicianship, and the production is just friggin' fantastic here. Like we're talking about one of our favorite albums of the last 5 years. But what makes it separate? What is the X factor, as we'll consider next segment?
I can take this one. I feel like it's tough nailing down one thing after everything we've talked about because I think we hit all the main important points. But for me, it's not allowing like the quantity sacrifice the quality. They established a very high ceiling and maintained it through 15 songs, 54 minutes, while also telling this detailed, intricate story, and it's just insanely impressive. And you keep waiting for it to die off when I was listening to it. I remember we were first giving it thumbs, and I wasn't super into it first. I think it took like three lists, which most times I have a decision made by then.
Yeah.
I think you had two thumbs, and I was like,
In my review, I said it's probably the slowest burn album we've done. Like it
Yeah.
just grew on me so slowly, but then it burned so bright after that.
yeah. And once I got into it, and I was like, man, I wrote down that it was like the Vince McMahon. The Vince McMahon thing, just song after song after song, and fall off the chair is so good.
Because you were top rating, you gave it like an
7, yeah.
8.7. Like that was like
Yeah.
top read. 8.4, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great choice. I mean, basically the artistic vision and not sacrificing it in a way. And for me, I'm gonna say it's this overall storyboard, and that's probably pretty cliche of me to pick the lyrics, but the reason I want to call it the X Factor is because I think it's what separates this album from all the other great synth pop that's out there. This is a great genre. Like there is a
Yeah.
lot of excellent bands that make synth pop.
Yep.
And Magdalena Bay do a lot of great things to this album, But as we touched on, it's like they're not reinventing any wheels here, but what they do differently is the concept. So to me, that's the X factor.
For me, I believe it's just the way that they can walk the tightrope, honestly. To have an album that can feel like experimental enough that it's fresh and unique and it's something, they're experimenting here. They're trying new things, you know what I mean? But then also being able to pair that with just pop structures and catchy riffs and like tantalizing hooks and just to get you drawn in as well. I just think they have a great way of, because some bands they'll go experimental, but they'll go too far. And then it's like, all right, this is, I respect this, but I'm not going to listen to this. Whereas they can do that and then put it within the pop kind of sphere.
So yours is similar to him in a way
They're
that
similar, yeah,
it's
exactly.
the artistic direction and ability to stick
Just a
to that.
great ear and just a great mind for it. I
Yeah.
think it's just the mind that they have. Like
That's a great way to look at
Yeah.
it.
When you said walking a tightrope, it made me think of the Gorillaz album as well. Just
Yeah.
like the immense challenge going into it. Like picture sitting down and being like, we got this idea, and you know what I mean, and we want to turn it into gold, but it's so many elements that have to go right. So much has to work in your favor for it to actually do well, and it did.
Even more so for them too, because like if you're comparing it to Gorillaz, Damon Albarn can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
the Twilight.
Yeah,
Like, this is all passion projects at this point,
He
right?
does not care what any record
No.
label says. Magdalena Bay goes into their record label. They're like, at the prior to this album, they're like a small font playing the 2 p.m. slot in the blaring sun.
This is their sophomore. This is their album too. So
Yeah.
the debut came out, right? So this is like their second shot at it, right?
They had a following, but for them to go in and be like, "Hey, can we make this sci-fi futuristic concept album that is a lot of synths, a lot of
It's like,
synths.
okay, hold on a second.
Also, we want a full orchestra."
Yeah. It's like, hold on. Okay, so what kind of art we're using? I'm gonna put a CD-ROM in my brain. An alien is gonna put a CD in my brain, and that's gonna be the art.
It's a crazy concept, but holy crap, it works.
Shout out to the record label for allowing these young artists.
That should have been maybe the X factor was the record label allowing this.
Cool record
label. All right, boys. Final topic that we're going to touch on here is just what's your favorite song? What's the one that our listeners should go listen to if they don't have time for the full album? Say.
I'll go. So when I was thinking about this, I was looking at my review, you know what I mean? And I was like I was reading my review, obviously, this is, www.toosweetreviews.com/imaginal disk. And I picked at the time, Love Is Everywhere. At the time, I thought that was the best one. Then I had Cry For Me, which is like the ABBA one, which I actually read that they listened to Dancing Queen a million times and like, let's make something that sounds like that.
Awesome.
Just like with the big piano and her voice
It's
and
so
like
good.
that. Cry For Me, to me, for my own taste, should be my favorite. But I think the best is Image.
Yes, Image is the best song.
100%. It not only does it encapsulate the story, like they're just reimagining yourself and trying to become the perfect person. It also has everything I like. It has the 80s synth pop kind of noise. It has a little bit of disco. It's trying new things. It has that kind of futuristic sound. To me, it is the perfect personification of the whole album.
Yeah, no notes. It's the best song on the album.
It is undeniable. Yes, agreed.
No.
It tells the whole story and just the way it builds up and breaks down, and it's just fantastic.
Great.
All right.
I find it hard to, just one more thought. I find it hard, like some concept albums don't have a best song, like because they're so concerned with the concept, they don't really have anything standing out. And
Absolutely.
So it's just to have that is it's great.
So as we finish, boys, I'm not sure if you recall your scores, but curious what you're rating now. I'll just take the pressure off you. And I'm going to say I rated an 8, I believe, at the time, maybe like an 8.1. And I'm going to say it's a 9.3 right now.
That's nice. That's really nice.
You guys?
It's a good question too. That's a very interesting question.
That's the same thing I'm gonna give it. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.4. I'd probably like a low 9. So I'd say no. I'll just say 9.2 to be different. But yeah, it's definitely up.
Use Fantano scoring. I think a light 9.
A light 9. Yeah.
No,
it's
it's a fair score on Magdalena Bay.
It's gonna be like even the critics. I feel like it's only gonna get better with time too. It's gonna be one of those, right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
That happens a lot too with concept albums, like because you look back on it in 20 years, you're like, damn, that was pretty cool. Like even like American Idiot, like now people always look back on like the Bush era and it's like, it's like that was like kudos to them for doing that, and you know, and maybe there'll be ability to put a disc in your brain someday.
We're getting there. We got
we might not be alive for it, but like I would not be surprised if there's some ability to.
You could probably do it now. They're
putting chips in people's brains. I'm sure the CD-ROM is coming. Then it's coming.
Yeah, we got this little tiny chip, but we're gonna bring back the CD-ROM. We'll put a floppy disk in your ass. Too.
I was laughing so hard at the fact, like just looking at the art. It's like, how does it physically, like the CD goes in your head? Is it spinning? Like that's a bloodbath. Like how does that even?
Well,
aliens would have better technology.
It's sci-fi, man. They don't probably have blood in their head.
These aliens would have better technology. Is all I'm saying.
All right, send us away, Rozzy.
That's it, guys. That's our number 5. Some key takeaways: just the experimentation, the soundscapes used, the arrangements, the concept, the fact that it went over 40 minutes and we didn't hate it right out of the gate. It survived the TSR curse. And for that is why Imaginal Disk is number 5.
Go listen. It's a great album.
It's great. 2
Sweet.